G'day, Adam from Change Activated here. Just finished a nice gym session. Taught myself something new, which was, if you're ever wondering what to do at the gym, pick something simple and make it fucking hurt. I just did a little bit of a combination of split squats and good mornings just to get the legs warmed up, and then jumped on the leg press machine and pushed out 360 kilos, 4 sets of 12. And then went for a little bit of a walk on the treadmill, and art was done. But taking the opportunity now to talk quickly about, maybe not even quickly, but about realizing that you've got your own perfect timing. People say there's no time to start. You may as well start now. Start when you're unsure, blah, 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 which is great. If we're not coming from a perspective for ourselves of, I would say, trauma, or, constantly working in the fight or flight mode, or recovering from adrenal fatigue. So there's another opportunity there, I believe, when you're aware of yourself, to say that I can create my own perfect timing. So there's no such thing as the perfect time, I suppose, because it's whenever you start is the perfect time. So if we're trusting in the moment right now, then that's all there is. Once again, coming back to the breath, breath is life, and that would be our way to embrace ourselves in a moment, any moment, doesn't matter which moment. Excuse me for a moment, this moment. So bringing our attention back to the breath is super important, because breath is life. Breath is the only thing that keeps us sustained. At the end of anything, without breath, we are no longer here. And if you were to practice with breath work, you'll notice the effects it can have on your body. So breathing in through the nose for 4 seconds, out through the nose for 12 seconds to calm the nervous system. Erratic breathing from belly to diaphragm, and massive exhales for a long period of time can get us into a different state as well. Short, sharp breaths to get our body ready to pounce. Nice, deep, long breaths if we're looking to relax. But in choosing our own perfect timing, we are also going to choose our own perfect state, and knowing that there is really no such thing as perfection. It has been said that perfectionism is not about high standards, it's a lack of standards, because you don't know when to finish. So I'd be questioning whether you are a perfectionist, or if you just don't have any boundaries or goals set. Perfectionism might be easy to hide behind if you're unable to determine what it is that you want to achieve, and then you just want to please everyone. So being a people pleaser. But after having a chat with a good friend of mine today in regards to how we identify ourselves and how we are identified by others, and how we show up in certain circumstances, and how our upbringing may have sort of affected how we feel about ourselves in an everyday life. Super interesting for me, because the main thing that I see is judgment. So judgment on self over a prolonged period of time will allow us to externalize and make it someone else's problem. If we don't take ourselves serious enough, then we're always going to be more concerned about somebody else. So I'm very mindful of people that have judgment on others, and I also pull them up on it. I have judgment. We're all human, I suppose, if that's an excuse to hide behind. But, it's not with absence of judgment, I promise, but mindfulness, right? So mindfulness around any actions that we make. But when we're bringing ourselves to a state of responsibility, then we're also realizing that we are the master of our own destiny, or whatever we want to call it. A choice in every moment is our destiny, right? So if we're choosing differently, then our destiny will be different. But or you may believe that it's all set out for us. So in that case, then we can trust in the moment, because everything is exactly as it's meant to be. I'm also slightly wary of people that say that and then they don't trust stuff. So living in hope without any direct action, and then teaching other people to do that. Watching from a parenting style, like from the inner child stuff. If we're focusing more on what we've been told, and not being mindful of the fact that there is a choice outside of the things that we have learnt, because at the end of the day, anything that is learned has either just been written in a book by someone, and it may or may not be a matter of opinion. So when we connect to truth too heavily. It may just be that we're scared to realize that anything's possible. But if you are willing to accept that anything's possible, and you are willing to sit outside the realms of what it is that you have been taught or shown, and show a little bit more curiosity and excitement towards it, then definitely engage in the space where we look to reduce our definition of self. Yeah, Michael Singer, once again, I refer to him quite often, but see, Michael Singer and also Eckhart Tolle refer to the identification of self. So anything that follows I am is automatically surpassed or transcended. So if you are of this mindset, then it would mean that defining who you are is really just a moot point, because once we recognize something in ourselves, that means that we have seen it and felt it, touched it. It's become tangible, and we're automatically transcending that because we are curious beings that will seek outside of that. So as soon as we're defining as something, it's probably a fear of the unknown. This is how I see it. It could be any other way, but from a place of stuckness, I feel like that is a very important sort of standpoint to take, because then we can be curious in everything that we're thinking and agreeing with, rather than taking things at face value and not investigating further. A lot of people would say you don't have to take action on everything that happens or whatever, but it sort of becomes second nature to see that there is a gratitude in every moment, right? Wait for the fuck off to turn to a thank you is just another way of fucking saying it, right? Everything, I believe, is just the same way of saying we are our own God, and there is belief systems and faith systems, and I love all of them, especially when they're practicing that true connection and communication comes from the internal, and self first and then others after, which is a true practice of selfishness, which I think is the most beautiful thing you can do. But yeah, becoming very curious around identification and talking around, especially in the mental health realm, right? So, you got schizophrenia, you got ADHD. Myself, I've just recently sought out a diagnosis of ADHD because I enjoy my brain. I think it's a fucking fantastic place, but sometimes it's also not relevant to my surroundings, and it becomes quite lonely. So having a bit of medical help, medicinal help, makes it a little bit more manageable sometimes, and I choose when I take the meds and not. But everything plays a part in this world, and you have the choice. And I understand in different circumstances I make different choices, and different surroundings, different environments. It's sort of we're going to change if we go into different environments, which is fantastic, because we're just exercising the right to see all parts of ourselves, because we're neither this nor that. We are everything and nothing all at the same time. Maya Angelou says, like, the true meaning of belonging is knowing that you belong everywhere and nowhere at the same time, because there is no possession. Things are not here to be possessed. I think I learned in electrical energy is not created or destroyed, it just changes form, right? So in seeing that, then we know that, when people say where your energy goes, your whatever flows, or whatever, whatever the saying is, but we know that we are just transferring energy. So, and if it's from a religious standpoint, then there is something else, right? But it's probably going to be the same message, which is totally fine. And I'm also open to the idea that it's not the same message, but like I said before, this is my belief system, and I truly believe that we are just moving through energetically. My evidence of this is that I've done the same thing at different points in my life, and they've felt totally different and achieved a very, very different outcome. So whether it be a work setting, so a similar role that I've taken a different take on, or a similar interaction with a person, if we get into the same situation and go, oh, this again, what am I meant to learn from this? And why is this causing me a little bit of dis-ease in my body? And then from removing the identification of self, because there is no identity and there is every identity. So it's it's the beautiful what would you call it? Not a dichotomy. What's that word? Can't think of it. But knowing that we are everything and nothing, then we have a choice in every moment. If we're allowed to take that choice, which is we're the only ones that are able to give ourselves permission. We may have got it when we were younger, But then as we progress through our little journeys, we find that we do have to give ourselves permission for that, which is, it's a challenge in itself sometimes. But once we give ourselves permission, then we do have a choice in every moment, and the identity really just slips away. So yeah, I'm just very mindful now that I take the time to not identify, right? Life in general, what do you do for work? Who gives a fuck, right? Not that I don't care. Like, I love it if you're a doctor. I love it if you're a friggin' garbologist. I love it if you are a stay-at-home mum. I love all that. But as an identity, that means nothing about the person to me, right? So yeah, get super curious around identity, because I think that might be a little bit of an issue if we are feeling stuck, because we are everything and nothing all at the same time. But just remember, choose you. I love you heaps. And change activated. I might be here to change the world or one person's mindset, or only my own. Who knows? But let's just do it with love and kindness at the front of our sort of value set. And don't be afraid to try something new and get curious around something that keeps showing up for you. And take care. Love you.